Okay. Hi guys, my name is David Hill. I'm a chef working in Naples, Florida. I'm a private chef, not a restaurant chef, and we're going to talk about my purchase during COVID. As you know, here in Florida, the business was went bonkers due to the pandemic, and I definitely was able to upgrade my vehicle here. This is a 2009 Lamborghini Murcielago lp640. This was originally a New York car, and now it's a Florida car. And I can tell you the good and the bad about it. I mean, the good, obviously, it gets a lot of attention. It's super fun to drive. And, obviously it's like a definitely fast car. And I highly recommend this car, but I just want to say right now, if you're thinking about getting one of these cars, make sure you have a good mechanic or you're a very good experienced mechanic. I just want to show, I also do a podcast, Chef and Lambos. You guys can follow that on Instagram, that'd be cool. But I was going to tell you about, with my experience having fast cars, I started when I was a teenager. I had one of those Mitsubishi 3000 GTs, which is definitely not much to this. And then I upgraded, maybe in my early 30s, I got a Corvette Z06. I did the 2015. That was a really nice car. I got brand new. It was custom built for me. I did a lot of that carbon fiber on the inside, outside. That was a convertible, and that was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed that car. But the only thing about the Corvettes is it's a very common car. So they're fun, whatever, but it seems like everybody's got them. So for my next car, I really wanted to get something different. And with the Corvettes, I had two. I had a 2015, then I got a 2016. Then I took maybe about a year or two off from cars. And then, like I said, the pandemic hit Florida, and we were jamming here. To be a private chef, it was definitely a blessing. So I got something very unique here. This is, like I said, it's a 2009. It only had about 11,000 miles on it. It came from New York, and I would say it was in pretty decent shape. It got a little bit of damage in the front where I had to have a little bit of body work. Also in the rear, it got hit pretty hard where I had to have a little bit of body work as well. I also redid the paint job on it. And I was going to say, as far as the rims, there was an issue with that where it's chrome, and it's very difficult to find someone who deals in chrome these days. So I think what I'm going to do is there's a company out of California. I think I'm going to send it out there. They said they'll re-dip them, do a refinish on them, kind of polish them up. And I don't know what happened with the rims, but it's got a little bit of peeling going on. And talking to other people, they kind of felt, because I knew the car was in the snow, they felt like it maybe been a combination of the cold weather, the salt, and then the car being in the snow might have had an effect on the finish on it. As far as this car though, I mean, it's a lot of fun to drive. This is not the gated manual. This is an e-gear. And when I got the car, another story about it is when you're trying to find people that work on it, be real careful, do your research, because I had a lot of people that say they knew the car, they're experienced, they can handle it, and they really had no idea. I'm going to open up the trunk for you, or the engine bay, I should say. As you can see, it's very clean. This is a V12. Roughly, if you get a car with an engine like this, it'll probably cost you about 140 to 150. Premium fuel, of course, to fill it. But when I got the car, I also needed radiators. And I remember one of the shops I brought it to, the guy was telling me I'm going to do a custom radiator. And I'm like, okay, show me where you're gonna put them, or where do the radiators go? And when he pointed to the front of the the area over there at the beginning of the engine, I knew I had to get the car out of there. He didn't know what he was talking about. So I eventually got the car out of there, and then I brought it to a place in Tampa. I thought that guy knew what he was doing. He really didn't do anything for the car. So eventually I brought it to Dallas Lamborghini. And they obviously do the cars all the time. They know their work. And they did a couple things for me. One of the big things they did is they got me a new immobilizer kit, so the car would, you know, turn on and operate normally. But I had some issues after I did that too, once I got it back home. But you know, I got the radiators put in, kept the engine cool, running, everything's good. But when I got it home, I realized that this is a common problem with the Murcielagos, is you'll get the with the immobilizer kit, it'll kind of engage the alarm a lot. So when you turn the car over, or it won't turn over because the alarm's on. So what it is I found a local mechanic out of Fort Myers called Power Treads. Guy's really great, his name's Albert. He disengaged the immobilizer kit, so no more alarm. So obviously you can lock the car, it's fine, it's safe, but you could do like an aftermarket alarm. But now it's no more beeping at you. I was having like a lot of beeping going on, and it was just really strange that immobilizer unit just wasn't operating properly. So I'm glad I got rid of that. And then also the lights that I have on there now, these are the newer ones. This would be an 09 light. When I first got it, it had the older style lights. It was like maybe like a 2005. And so these lights are brand new, and I love them. They look great on the car, so I'm really glad I did the upgrade. But as far as that, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up for you guys so you can hear it. I put in a flat screen Kenwood there. It basically can play any kind of video or song you want. It does a large screen feature. And then also, as far as the inside, I would say it's pretty stock. Of course, the speakers are changed out. Also, I just want to mention, one of the complaints I have is if you get the door speakers, I don't know if you can film in there, but the door speakers, you can't put that like screen protector on them, because if you close the door, it's so tight they keep getting banged off. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, this car is a lot of fun. I recommend it. You just got to have a lot of patience for like little things. Sometimes I get the sensors with the tire pressure being low, but a lot of times the tire pressure's fine. So it's just like a little glitchy things. But I feel lucky that the car starts and runs every time. Sometimes if you read the forums, sometimes people say they're just finicky and they won't start. I haven't had that problem with this car. It starts and runs every time I want to go somewhere. But anyway, so I'm gonna close the hood here. And we're gonna take it for a little ride. Okay guys, so now the fun part, we're gonna go for a little ride. Now I do want to mention, with this car, that was a little different for me to get used to, is when you're getting into first gear here, it does chug a little bit, it's bouncy. And everybody said that's totally normal, that this car is not meant to drive slow. So you want to give it some gas to get it going. But if you're in first gear, it's gonna chug and kind of bounce. And then as far as performance, you know, like, I would say it feels very similar to the Corvette Z06 in power, but I do want to say I do feel this car definitely has more torque. When you really give it some gas and you go, I think like this thing would spin out and lose control a lot easier than a Corvette. But they definitely are very similar in speed and as far as power. And you know, like I was saying before, one of the biggest differences between this and a Corvette is the attention you're gonna get. When you drive this car, people are like high five out the window, and they are just like crazy for this car. And with the Corvette, it's, you know, no big deal. I mean, people will look at you. Sorry, I have to get into drive mode. I'm sure you guys can hear the power of that engine right now. That's V12 for you. And okay, so we're coming up to a red, so I just want to bring this up. I used to downshift quite a bit when coming up to, like, you know, you're going to go down to first coming from fourth or third. And what I would read up on the forums, the Lamborghini forums, is like, if you want to save your clutch, it's better to go into neutral. So I just want to point out that's exactly what I did just now, is rather than downshifting, you're putting all that extra wear and tear on the clutch. And what I feel took a little getting used to as well is just rolling in neutral. So if you're going like, you know, 50, 60, coming up fast on a red light, just go into neutral and roll into it. And like I said, it takes getting used to, but now I'm totally used to it. And it feels nice, it's no big deal. But on this next ride, what we're gonna do going up here is I will do some downshifts so you can hear it, you can feel it, because that was another change for me. In a Corvette, you're not feeling these giant downshifts where it pretty much throws your body. I haven't done it in a while, but I'll try to do a few for you coming up here. But it's also very loud. When you downshift, you're gonna hear it. And of course, you guys heard the acceleration. I just went from first into second and then into third. So right now we're in first, going into second, going into third, now we're into fourth, and this thing just drives super smooth. But the downside though is you're gonna feel every little bump. This car is very sensitive to any kind of bump. You're gonna feel it on your body. So I'm gonna give it a little gas here in a second. Downshift. Going into third. Going into second. Going into first. Now I'm going back into neutral. And you know, not to throw Lamborghini Dallas under the bus or anything, but I just want to say they wanted to get me to pay for a brand new wiring harness. And the car didn't need a wiring harness. All it needed were some new fuses going into fourth. It needed some new fuses, and then it just had a little bit of corrosion. So, like I said, my mechanic here, Albert, at Power Treads in Fort Myers, this guy is the best, man. I mean, he works on Ferrari, Lamborghini, and he got the car going in new gears, no problem. when I first had the car and I first got it, it seemed that it would have issues going into second, third, fourth, fifth. It would stay into first. So, you know, he got that under control, and now the car runs great. I honestly, I've really had no trouble with it at all. But you know, like having a car like this, it's such an experience. It's like if you're having a bad day, or you know, just things aren't going your way, people getting on your nerves, whatever, when you get in this car and you take it for a drive, all your problems go away. Everything is just like clean slate. I mean, it just puts a smile on your face. Everybody like is taking pictures of it. When they're next to you, they get out their cameras. I mean, it's a really cool experience. So if you have never had a race car like this, or you know, maybe you want to start with a Corvette, I mean, whatever you're into, go for it. I mean, just I would say definitely this car was definitely a life-changing experience. I mean, it's a really big deal when you go into like a grocery store or whatever, or you're going to do a car show. Everybody wants to check it out. And you know, like just, you know, a word of advice, if you do have this car, just remember that, you know, people haven't had the opportunity to drive in it, or maybe they just want to sit in it and like check it out. That was a downshift going into first. So I just wanted you to check that out too. So like I was saying, is like be really cool, be nice to the people, like you're trying to, you know, give them an experience, because, you know, like I said, they've never like checked out the car inside. You know, I let people sit inside, take selfies, whatever they want to do. I mean, if you can put a smile on some kid's face, go ahead and do it. You know, you're going to give them a cool experience. But yeah, I mean, it's just like a really cool time. You know, you take the thing over to get gas. All kinds of people want to check it out, come up to you and talk to you. You know, just be cool with them and let everybody check it out. You know, because a lot of people, like I said, they've never driven one of these or been inside one, and they just want to get a selfie in front of the car. I'm always cool with people and let them do that. But again, like this is a lot of power. It comes with a lot of responsibility. You do not want to go out ripping up the roads, getting tickets. Be careful. If you're going to do this thing, you know, do your Waze app. Make sure you're checking out where the police cars are stationed, and just drive safe. You know, like I feel like I've had a couple fast cars in my time, so I don't do anything too crazy. I mean, I definitely give it some gas once in a while, but I definitely don't want to end up in jail. But yeah, again, this car is a lot of fun. Always do your homework and find the right mechanic that handles the car well, knows the car, and you know, you're going to deal with a lot of people talking that they know what they're doing, and they don't. So do your homework. I remember the first place I took it in Cape Coral, these guys were taking a bunch of pictures and posting, and they didn't really do anything for the car. I think they put a battery in it, and they were acting like they fixed the car and did a miracle thing for it. So be careful for those clowns out there. But anyway, I would definitely not discourage people from getting these cars. They're definitely cool, a lot of fun, but get a good mechanic. And another thing, do not feel you need brand new parts for these cars. There's a great place out of California. It's called Exotic Recyclers. They have pretty much almost any car you think of. They have a ton of parts. There's a bunch of like little things I got that, you know, maybe I wanted to upgrade, or it looked shabby, so I got the parts from them, and every time the parts were great. So definitely give them a shout out. Check them out online, and you'll be glad you did. All right, guys. Well, have a great day, and it was cool taking you around. Oh, and also check me out at chefdavidhill.com, or check out my podcast at Chefs and Lambos. I'm on all the podcast forums, or you can also look me up on YouTube there. Have a great day, guys. Thanks.